What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York here at Aftershock Festival 2022. In our next interview, we are here with Kyle and Tyler of Archetypes Collide. Thanks for being here.
Well, it's good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime, man, anytime. So My Own Device is the latest single that came out 3 weeks ago. Is this maybe a good representation of the direction Archetypes Collide is going into for a full-length album in a way?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, My Own Device is kind of a culmination of the heavy, there's a lot of synthy kind of vibey parts, especially almost 80s influence, Weekend influence, a lot of pop influences there, which we love diving into that, but we still got the heavy riffs in there as well. So yeah, it's kind of a culmination of everything we do. So
definitely, it's just a good mixture of a lot of different elements, and I think our name Archetypes Collide, that's what we like to do. It's trying to create something. We like to genre blend in a way, but kind of stick to that rock metalcore vibe.
Yeah, so it's funny because, there's been a lot of bands that, like to bring different elements into it, but I feel like you guys are actually so open about that in your name alone, like Archetypes.
Yeah.
You guys are what you create.
It's in the name. We don't have any other option but to. No.
Exactly.
No, it really is one of those things we love to embody. It's just like taking influence from any genre. I've said it before, I never grew up on country music, never really listened to it. My parents always dogged on it, and I was like, yeah, it sucks, whatever. And then eventually I was like, well, my wife, when I got married, she loved country music. I'm like, all right, there's got to be something here for me to learn, something for me as a songwriter to be able to take and influence. And there was so much to learn. There was so much to, like, the songwriting that goes into it and the lyrics and the melodies. And there's so much awesome stuff that you can pull from any genre and incorporate in your own sound. And that's, like, one of my favorite things to do. So.
Does it ever start off with a preconceived idea of what you want a song or an EP to sound like, or is it like a lot of improvising involved and kind of winging it in the songwriting process?
I think for us, a lot of it is pretty organic. Like, obviously, as a songwriter, it revolves around the melodies, the progressions, the lyrics. But for us, it's never, I kind of have it in my head. There's always like this little voice, this little ear that hears what's going to happen next. And like, okay, we play something out and like, oh, this would be really cool if we did this from this one song to this other like pop artist did something like this and we incorporated that. And it's always kind of jumping ahead to the next thing that I hear. But yeah, it's just a weird mood. We don't try to like plan it too hard because then it's not really authentic to us. So it just kind of naturally happens, honestly.
You guys are all natural.
I want to say
all
that.
Natural.
All natural metal.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's your genre, all natural metal.
All natural.
All organic metal.
Yeah, all organic metal. I heard someone say our genre is better stated as workout music. So trying to get a pump.
Yeah.
We got you.
Supplement sponsor. But were you able, I know it's kind of like a silly question, but were you able to foresee the sound that Archetypes Collide will take going all the way back to the Foundations EP from 2014?
I mean, I can't confirm anything, but I mean, Kyle, take this. I don't know.
What are you trying to say?
I'm gonna say something.
He's gonna say something wrong. I'm like, don't mess up. No, no, honestly, yeah, it's been it's funny because we see all these like influences from, like a lot of the bands I listened to growing up were like Shinedown and Disturbed and a lot of those Foo Fighters and 30 Seconds to Mars and a lot of those like kind of just straight rock, a little bit of radio rock, that kind of stuff. And so for me, I was always interested in that. Tyler, you are always heavily influenced in the metalcore kind of stuff and the more like Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, you could probably speak more on that with your influences, but
yeah, I mean, that EP was released 8 years ago, and I feel like as musicians, we were very young. We were in our early to late teens. I mean, I was like 20, I think, at the time. My music taste has changed completely since then, but we still have elements
100%
in our music that derive from that time in my life.
Yeah.
So the Foundations EP was our start, was our beginning. While we don't enjoy looking back too much at that EP, it's a good thing to kind of build off of and look to see where we started and where we are now and kind of see how fresh our music has become because of that start.
Yeah.
You know what? Whether you like it or not, it is part of who you are. So
100%.
just own up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
No, I love it. It's cool to look back and just see like literally all the time I tell the guys, like, I just stop and I look into the guys and I'm just like, what the heck are we doing right now? Like, what are we doing? Like, this is insane, you know? Just the things we've been able to do with, you know, signing with Fearless Records, to been working on a full album and recording stuff, to playing all these festivals like, you know, Louder Than Life, Aftershock, Rockville. I mean, the tour we did with Amity Affliction, like, things have been popping off for us all year. And so it's just really cool to see all this work we've put in since, 2014, 2013? Me and Tyler go back to, like, 2012, honestly. But
we didn't really do anything for the first 2-3 years we met. We just kind of jammed.
We didn't know how to do anything the first couple
yeah.
of years.
Well, when it comes to playing live, though, and because, like, I feel like because you have so many different elements in your music, like, I could see you do a tour with, like, an Amity Affliction or that Secrets tour that you got coming up.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I could see you do a tour with, like, a Breaking Benjamin or a Shinedown or, like, an Avenged Sevenfold.
I would cry. Yes.
If we played with Breaking Benjamin, I would call my mom on the phone and cry to her, and my wife. Yeah, Breaking Benjamin's like
my dog.
Top 5 for me, band of all time. Yeah, that's all.
Dear Agony or Phobia?
Ooh.
Dear Agony. I got to say Dear
He's a
Agony.
Dear
but
Agony
Phobia is very front to back pretty much perfect as well, but Dear Agony is my go-to.
You always
saw them at Louder Than Life 2019, and they were insane.
So I was supposed to see them at Rockville, but it got rained out. It was Rockville, right?
Yeah.
And it got rained out, so they didn't play. And they played
was
on
a
our
sad
day,
boy.
but I'll catch them one day. If not, we'll tour with them.
There we go, yeah.
One day you'll headline over them.
You know what? Sure.
We got no respect our elders. So I don't want to speak any blasphemies over here.
I wouldn't call them elders. I mean,
That'd be hype.
Does every song represent a specific emotion or like a personal experience that you guys have? Or in terms of inspiration, musically and lyrically, you guys are looking externally? Is there a lot of observation when it comes to your songwriting?
So I think a theme for me personally with the lyrics that I've always written, they've been self-reflective, internal. A lot of the songs for me is I want to find something that makes me feel. A lot of the times when we're writing our songs, we'll write the full instrumental, we'll write some melodies even for the vocals before doing lyrics, and I'll sit back and be like, what does this song make me feel? And then I'll go down that path, and I'll be like, this feels like this, and it reminds me of this thing that I've gone through, or, you know, whatever it is. When we have so many songs where, whether it's about, like, My Own Device is like the constant setting myself up for failure, and, you know, I can't blame anyone else but myself at the end of the day, you know, for putting myself in these situations. Or like Above It All, it's one of those songs where, you know, for people that have had, like, miscarriages, or people that have had issues with drug abuse or domestic violence, like, it's one of those songs where personally I haven't necessarily experienced it myself, but I've seen it in the people around me, and I feel like it's a very important thing to lean into that discomfort, because there's so much value in knowing that other people are going through the same thing. And that's what I love to do, is just to share that struggle with other people, because that was the kind of stuff I listened to growing up, and that's what really pulled me through and helped develop me, you know.
Comfort is one of the worst things ever for art. So.
it's important to talk about the stuff that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Essentially. Yeah.
100%. Because it's like, you just got to be real. Like, you know, we dress up, you know, we do our thing, and we put a smile on, and, you know, we say hi to, you know, fans and everyone, and we play our shows, and I'm always smiling when we play, because it's like, it's a vibe. Like, I love it. And it's like, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We all got our demons, all our things going on behind the scenes that we're struggling with. And I think there's something in it to just be real and be like, hey, I don't got it all figured out. You might think I do, but no way.
They say the two most certain things in life are death and taxes. I think they left out suffering. So
100%.
Wow, yeah.
And I have two more questions for you. You ready for the most difficult question of the whole interview?
Hit me.
I want you both to answer this one, because it's, how do you know when a song is done?
No.
You'd like to buy a vowel?
Can I call someone? I don't. That's a hard question to answer. You want to take a swing
I got
at that?
you.
Yeah, thank you.
So that, like, songwriting, that's like the biggest struggle, to be honest, with anything in life, especially if you're like doing it yourself and you're trying to create something, is there's always that perfectionist in your head. Some people are like really geared towards perfection, and other people are like, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know if it was if you get like 90% done with it, just like, we got to 90%, it's good, get over it, let's move on to the next, because that extra 10%, all the things you could change, is not going to it's not the majority. Like, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
One of the most successful songs we had was Your Misery. That was a song that popped off, and it got picked up by SiriusXM, and it got us some visibility with management, and eventually we got a label deal. And that song was like literally the last song we recorded, and it was something we wrote on the spot. And like, there's something to that, just like, don't overthink it. If it sounds good, it sounds good, you know? And that's what I love, is there's no formula to songwriting. Like, there's no perfect way to do it. You can spend a million years trying to perfect something, but I think there's more value in the little things that are kind of off, little things that are like not right. It gives it that character.
Yep.
So
Okay, so no formula and no. Those are the two answers.
yes, sir.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'll say yes.
Exactly. And the final question I wanted to ask you is, this is my first. It's going to be my first Archetypes Collide show, and is there maybe a similar energy that you put into your live presence as you do when you're songwriting, or do you consider playing live and songwriting two completely separate arts?
I'll kind of start this off. I personally kind of see it as two different aspects with this new stuff we're going with. We are keeping live music in mind
100%.
when writing it, because we want the music to come across in your earbuds off Spotify or iTunes just as well live. So there is a separation, but there's also there's a good mix of both, honestly. That was a very bad way to put it, but hopefully you got a better way to explain that.
Yeah, there's actually so obviously we've been really busy this whole year. We've been recording a lot of stuff and working on we're with Fearless Records. We're working on our first full-length album we've been recording. And it's interesting, some of the songs that we've written, one of the songs that we've been writing, when I first came up with the chorus melody of it, I sat down with my guitar and I just envisioned, like, in front of a massive crowd, what would I sing, how would I phrase it, and what would it feel like? And that was, I won't say what song it was, but that's one of the songs that we just all are like, man, this is a great song that we've been working on. And there's something to it to like maintain that live perspective, because it hits harder, it feels more authentic, and that's kind of where I think our strength is. It's just being real, just playing hard, playing fast, and yeah, having a good time. So
Hell yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you guys so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
And for a great conversation. I know you got the tour coming up with Secrets.
Yep.
Is there just anything else with Archetypes Collide that you would like to plug?
No, ultimately, so we just announced today, I'm glad you're on it, is Secrets Palisades Tour. We'll be going through the whole U.S. It starts in Utah, it ends in California, and it's going all the way to the East Coast. So if you're around, we're coming through. Come say hi, come check it out. It's going to be a sick show, so we're stoked.
Hell yeah.
Come hang out.
I remember seeing Secrets with Chelsea Grin the first time.
Dude,
and,
what?
That show was insane.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
those,
it was the Amity Affliction, Chelsea Grin, Secrets, Cruel Hand, and The Plot in You.
it's absurd.
What lineup? That's an insane lineup.
You know what's wild is we started in like 2010. I'm deviating now, but 2010, 2011, I went to a show. It was like Bring Me the Horizon, Pierce the Veil, like We Came as Romans, like all these bands, and it was like kind of a hole in the wall show at the time. And now looking at it now is like Bring Me is literally stadiums.
They're going
And
to be co-headlining with Muse this Sunday.
It's absurd. It's so cool to see, like, over the span of 10 years, just to see that elevation in these bands and like becoming on the front line of rock and pop music. It's inspiring. So we're stoked.
Definitely. Yep. Proves that rock is anything but dead.
No,
I would
sir.
100% agree. Rock's well and alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Everybody, we are here with Archetypes Collide. New stuff coming very soon. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York Aftershock 2022.